Welcome to the video homily for Palm Sunday. On Palm Sunday each year, the church sets out on a journey into the darkness of Holy Week. And this week, we're going to relive the whole Passion story. When we hear of a good man who had healed the sick, helped the lame to walk and the blind to see, but who had dared to speak truth to power, we see him put to death in a horrific and violent and painful way. And we do this together as church as we set out into Holy Week, not because we delight in pain, but because as we do, we rehearse the whole human story. A story of hopes turned to ashes, of betrayal and abandonment, and of the consequences of speaking truth to power. Each year when we come to Holy Week, when we arrive at this place, we bring to it the hurts and joys, the sufferings and excitements, the pain and the learnings of the past year. This year we arrive at this place in the middle of a global crisis that's made us afraid of one another, that's taught us to keep our distance from one another, and that's made us isolated and alone. And of course, all these things are necessary to bring this virus under control and to save lives. But the danger is it is turning our thinking inwards into self-protection rather than outwards towards others and towards those who need our help. And we've seen this in selfish actions as people hoard food, as people attack people of other cultures simply because they think that they're identified with the virus. Palm Sunday is traditionally the day when Christians who choose to follow the way of peace and love that was set out by Jesus walk together for peace. Each year across the country in our cities and our towns, thousands of people walk with banners to call attention to our need to care for others and to act for peace. And although we haven't been able to walk this year, this day, Palm Sunday, prompts us to think again about refugees who've come to us for help, who are still locked up no matter what we're going through. To think about those who live in countries with weak health systems, where they live in cramped conditions that make social distancing completely impossible, where there's no running water for sanitation and hygiene. The example of Jesus, the example of the one who rode into Jerusalem towards a certain death that day so long ago, and who we choose to follow, reminds us that we should always speak truth to power and call people, including our leaders, towards a more compassionate world. In the end, Jesus suffered the lethal mix of evil which human beings are so capable of inflicting on each other, examples of which litter history: betrayal, prejudice, denial, fickleness, harshness, greed, jealousy, brutality. And he suffered that because people didn't understand what he was about, didn't understand and didn't want the challenge he represented. And so they rejected him, and so they put him to death. In return, all we are asked to do is love. To love those who come to the table, even if we know that they're going to betray us. To love the one who asks to borrow our donkey, even if it's confusing and requires a hospitality and a generosity that seems beyond our capabilities. To love the godness which is in the mess of humanity, enough to lay down the coats off our backs, and to love Jesus, the one who has shown us how to seek and honour the divinity in all the world. The Lord be with you.